With the moon casting eerie shadows, Sara and Derek hesitantly stepped towards the ominous Hollow Manor. The foreboding silhouette of the mansion loomed over them, its darkened windows staring blankly, like the hollow eyes of a skull. The twisted trees, gnarled by time and weather, seemed to reach out, their skeletal branches swaying ominously in the chilly wind. Each step they took was a cacophony in the stillness, the crunch of gravel under their feet echoing in the night. Their hearts pounded in their chests, the rhythm in sync with the distant hoot of an owl. The flickering lantern they carried cast long dancing shadows, giving life to the darkness that enveloped the manor. Their breaths became shallow, their nerves on edge as they drew closer to the mansion. The air grew colder, a palpable sense of dread settling in. The wind whispered warnings, carrying the tormented souls of those who had entered but never returned. The mansion's front door groaned in protest as Derek pushed it open, a sound that echoed through the silence, as if the mansion itself was warning against intrusion. The door, aged with time and neglect, creaked ominously, an eerie symphony to the unfolding mystery. Behind the door lay a void of darkness, a realm untouched by the sun's warmth, an entryway to the unknown. It was an unsettling welcome, one that sent shivers down the spine, a prelude to the horrors that awaited within. The air was heavy, laced with the scent of decay and forgotten memories, a testament to the manor's grim past. The walls, scarred by time, seemed to pulse with a life of their own, whispering secrets only they knew. The floorboards groaned under the weight of their intrusion, each creak a chilling echo of the past. The walls whispered secrets, the floorboards echoed with the past. As they ventured deeper, the haunted portraits watched their every step. The grand hallway, adorned with the stern and stoic faces of the long-dead Hollow family, was bathed in a dim, spectral light. Each portrait, a chilling tribute to a life snuffed out too soon, bore eyes that seemed to flicker with a life of their own. They followed Sara and Derek, their cold gazes tracking their every move, their painted smiles concealing centuries of secrets. The portraits, though silent, spoke volumes. They were the silent observers, the watchers in the night. Their eyes, once filled with life, now served as the windows to the Hollow family's tormented past. Each stroke of the paintbrush, each subtle shade of colour, seemed to be imbued with an eerie sense of foreboding. A chill ran down their spines as they realised these were not just paintings, but gateways to the past, their silent judgment echoing in the hushed whispers of the manor. It was as if the spirits were judging their intrusion. Suddenly, a horrifying scream pierced the silence. It was a scream that chilled the blood in their veins, a scream that echoed the terror of 1,000 lost souls. It was a scream that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, a scream that seemed to penetrate the very walls of the ancient manor. Fear gripped Sara and Derek, their faces pale as the moonlight that filtered through the cracked windows. Their hearts pounded in their chests like a drumbeat of terror, their breaths hitching in their throats as the scream reverberated around them. The scream left an echo of dread that hung in the air, a palpable reminder of the horrors that lurked in the darkness. It was a scream that spoke of tormented spirits and unspeakable evils, a scream that made the shadows seem deeper and the silence more oppressive. It was a sound that would haunt their nightmares for years to come. An unseen presence slammed the door shut, trapping them inside. The sound echoed in the drawing room, a chilling reminder of their predicament. The air grew colder, and a shiver ran down their spines as they scrambled towards the door, their hands shaking, their breaths held in a silent scream. Their desperate attempts to escape were in vain. The door refused to budge, resisting their frantic pushes. A sinking feeling settled in their hearts as they realized the horrifying truth. They were not alone. The room was alive with a malevolent energy, an entity that reveled in their fear, their panic. Their eyes darted around the room, seeking the source of this dread, but found nothing. The room was empty, yet filled with an oppressive darkness that seemed to seep into their very souls. They were trapped, like mice in a snare, in the heart of Hollow Manor. Something malevolent was with them. A lone candle flickered, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. The flame's dance was erratic, unpredictable, a mimicry of the chaos that Sara and Derek found themselves in. It was the only source of light in the room, a beacon of hope in the darkness, But even that seemed to be faltering, as if the life was being slowly sucked out of it. The shadows it cast were no ordinary ones. They twisted and turned, morphed and mutated, creating a macabre puppet show on the mansion's ancient walls. Each shadow told a tale. Tales of sorrow, tales of pain, tales of the countless souls who'd been trapped within these walls, just like Sara and Derek. Every flicker, every twist of the flame, every dance of the shadow was a reminder of the mansion's dark past, its gruesome history. The phantoms danced in the darkness, their movements as twisted as the mansion's secrets. A haunting melody of despair filled the room, played by the grand piano. The keys danced with an eerie elegance, as if a spectral maestro was commanding a symphony of the damned. Sara, transfixed by the otherworldly performance, found herself drawn to the grand instrument, her heart pounding in rhythm with the sorrowful tune. The melody whispered tales of lost love and eternal regret, each note a mournful echo of lives once lived. The grand piano, once a symbol of joy and music, had become a conduit for the manor's sorrowful past. Its keys, now a voice for the voiceless. As Sara approached, her senses were overwhelmed by a chilling gust of despair. The music seemed to resonate within her, its mournful tune echoing in her very soul. A tear slipped down her cheek, a testament to the power of the haunting melody. The music told a tale of sorrow, a lament from the Hollow Manor, forever etched into her memory. In the mirror, Derek saw a ghostly figure standing behind Sara. The reflection was ethereal, a spectral silhouette that sent a shiver down Derek's spine. His breath hitched in his throat as he tried to make sense of the terrifying visage. The figure was hauntingly beautiful, its translucence revealing an eternity of sorrow and pain. The phantom hand, pale as moonlight, reached out from the mirror's surface, beckoning him with a chilling, silent invitation. His heart pounded in his chest like a frantic drum, each beat echoing the ticking of an unseen clock. The air around him seemed to grow colder, the oppressive silence only broken by the sound of his own ragged breaths. His eyes were locked onto the mirror, the ghostly figure pulling him in like a moth to a flame. The phantom's hand moved again, a final desperate plea for escape, but as he turned to warn Sara, his words were swallowed by the darkness. But it was too late for Sara. Suddenly, Sara was engulfed in a chilling mist. A cold, unseen force seemed to wrap around her, the temperature dropping with an intensity that left her breathless. Her eyes widened in terror as she reached out for Derek, but her hand merely grasped at the icy air. Her body began to shimmer, becoming translucent like a ghostly apparition. Her terrified screams echoed in the vastness of Hollow Manor, a haunting elegy to her fate. The mist thickened, obscuring her from view. And then, as quickly as it had begun, it was over. Sara was gone, consumed by the spectral mist, disappeared into the terrifying unknown. Derek stood frozen, his breath hitching in his throat as he stared at the space where his best friend had been just moments ago. The chilling silence that followed was a grim reminder of his solitude. Now, Derek was alone with the malevolence within Hollow Manor. Derek ran for his life, pursued by the vengeful spirits. Each step echoed like a heartbeat in the silence of the night, resonating with his fear. The icy fingers of the unseen presence reached out for him, brushing against his skin, a chilling reminder of the horror that lurked behind. The portraits that once watched him now seemed to sneer, their painted eyes filled with malevolent delight. The haunting melody that echoed from the grand piano grew louder, the notes weaving together into a symphony of his terror. Every corner he turned, every door he pushed, seemed to lead him deeper into the heart of Hollow Manor. But Derek was guided by the primal instinct of survival, his mind focused on one thing: escape. The whispering wind outside seemed to beckon him, promising safety from the vengeful spirits. With one last burst of energy, he threw open the front door, the cool night air washing over him. Finally, he made it outside, leaving the haunting Hollow Manor behind.